As you know, the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction will pay for AP exams for two categories of public school students enrolled in an AP course who then take their respective AP exam. The two categories are students who are low income and qualify for the fee reduction, and those students who are not low income but attend a public school and are enrolled in the respective AP course. Please note that the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction will not pay for AP exams taken by private school students, homeschool students, or students who were not enrolled in the AP course in which they took their exam. The following webinar will go through the process of submitting your AP exam invoice so that your district will get their exams paid for by the state. So the first step is to log into the AP exam ordering website, which is found at this URL, www.collegeboard.org/school. You'll see here where you can sign in to the AP exam ordering site. So as you can see on the slide, step 2 is to generate your invoice. So when you get to this page, you'll click on the Generate Invoice link. In step 3, you will begin generating your invoice. You'll notice on the screen it refers to a deadline of June 15th. Remember, North Carolina has a unique deadline, and this year that deadline will be June 2nd for our state. So it is very important to understand that if your district does not adhere to that earlier deadline of June 2nd, which is required by the Department of Public Instruction, you will be in jeopardy of having to pay for those exams yourself as a district. North Carolina DPI will not pay for invoices submitted after June 2nd. The reason for this earlier deadline is that the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction has to have time to pay for the exams within their current budget year cycle, and that backs up our timeline just a bit. So step 4 is to enter your used and unused exam quantities. Once that data is entered, you'll click Next to move to the following page. But this page you'll fill in just like you have in the past. You'll enter how many exams you used and how many of those exams were not used. Step 5 is to enter your unused and alternate exam credit quantities where applicable. Again, this is the same process as has been done in the past. This hasn't changed this year. So you'll note that if the coordinator enters 0 for unused exams on the prior page, this page will be skipped because there are none. So pretty self-explanatory, I think. You'll see some explanation here on the side next to each number. You know, unused exam fees are not charged if a student unexpectedly missed the operational exam administration and instead tested during the alternate window. So something to always keep in mind. And the $45 alternate exam surcharge is not incurred if the student doesn't actually take the alternate exam. So another important reminder. Okay, now step 6 is where we find differences this year for North Carolina. So this is very specific to our state. This will differ from what you've done in the past. So this is really where this webinar comes in to help hopefully clarify this for you. So there are going to be two categories of students. Okay, and you'll see we're talking about option 1 fee reduction and option 2 fee reduction on this screen. This really has to do with low income students and non-low income students. So the category 1 or option 1 students are those students who qualify for the College Board's fee reduction. You can find that eligibility criteria at our fee reductions for AP exams link that you'll see on the page. So what you'll see here are the boxes that you need to fill in for your number of used exams. So in this example on the screen, that was 100 exams. The number of unused exams in this example was 10. So then out of the 100, you must report first, I'm in option 1, fee reduction, the number of used low income exams that are eligible for the College Board fee reduction. Keep in mind, this first quantity may include homeschool students, private school students, and students who were not enrolled in the corresponding course, but those students will be paying you for their exam, right? Those 3 categories of students. Only the public school students who were enrolled in the AP course will be paying the the state will pay the $53, right? But if they're a homeschool student or a private school student or a student who wasn't enrolled in the corresponding course, they can still get the fee reduction, and you'll need to report, right, to the College Board that there was a fee reduction, but they will have to pay the school for that. And in the following screen, you'll see where that will be reflected in the costs incurred that you will have to pay to the College Board. So the box under that is the number of used low income exams that are eligible for the North Carolina public school fee reduction, right? So here is where you do not include the homeschool students, the private school students, and their students who were not enrolled in the corresponding course. So in this example, all of the students were in the corresponding course and they were at a public school. So the numbers are the same. But if you had, let's say, 2 kids who were homeschoolers who came and sat for an exam in your school, and you had ordered an exam for them, that number would then be 18 if they were low income. So I hope that's clear. The first box is anyone who got a fee reduction, including all of those other cases. That won't happen often, but certainly I know it does happen. And as the College Board person, I will tell you we are grateful to you for hosting those other students who may have sat for an exam. So that first box under College Board fee reduction will reflect the total amount of children who got a fee reduction, who took an exam at one of your schools, and then the state fee reduction, or at your school, I should say, since this is you are probably an AP coordinator at a school. But for the state fee reduction, that box needs to only be for the public school students who sat in a corresponding AP exam to the course they were enrolled in, okay? All right, and then the last box on this page is where you will enter the number of used non-low income exams that are eligible for the state to pay. So out of this example, there was 100 used exams, 20 had a fee reduction, so that left 80 that did not. So basically you're just going to subtract, right, the number of fee reductions you had from the whole to get the option 2 fee reduction. So this is for all of the kids who did not qualify for the College Board fee reduction, but again, the state is going to cover that cost. Please note in red it says here, the quantity entered here in this last box will also be used to determine the number of exams eligible for the $9 per exam North Carolina school rebate. So for the students who are non-low income in option 2, the state of North Carolina will pay $93 per exam, which is the total cost of the exam, with $84 being paid to the College Board and $9 being sent to your school in a rebate check, which you can see here in red. Step 7 is to review and submit your invoice. Now, it's important to note first that if you need to make any adjustments to your invoice when this screen comes up, you can click Edit Invoice and it'll take you back to step 4. But as you see on the screen, it gives you a summary of everything you've entered thus far. So if your invoice looks correct, you can click Submit Your Invoice. Again, a friendly reminder that you'll want to have this accomplished by June 2nd of 2017. Even though there is a published deadline on the national website that's June 15th, in North Carolina, you want to meet this earlier deadline. If you fail to generate and submit this invoice by June 2nd, your North Carolina state funding could be revoked and your school or district would be billed later for the cost of all your exams, which is not a situation that we want you to be in. So as you can see on the screen, each low-income exam receives a $31 fee reduction from the College Board and a $53 credit from North Carolina, making the exams free for those students. And each non-low-income exam receives an $84 credit from North Carolina, making the exams free for the students as well. Again, this is unique to our state. This is not the situation in most other states. So your process, that's why it's a little different here in North Carolina. You must print and mail the program copy of your invoice with any payment that your school owes to the AP program. Again, the state of North Carolina will cover the majority of your fees, but if you have any of those other fees that we've been discussing throughout this presentation, your school is responsible to remit those fees. To print your invoice, click the Print Invoice button on this page. So, payment for any fees not covered by your state, so any surcharges, labels, unused exam fees should be made payable to AP exams and mailed with your invoice to the address you see here. AP Program, P.O. Box 6671, Princeton, New Jersey 08541-6671. You should note that 2 additional copies of the invoice will print. There will be a school copy for you to retain for your records and a state copy for you to retain in the event that the state requests a copy. So those are the differences this year. Not too difficult, we hope. We certainly don't want you to struggle in this process, so we have trained our customer service team on this process specific for North Carolina Public Schools. So please feel free to call 877-274-6474 if you need any assistance. It is important when you place the call to identify yourself as a educator in a North Carolina public school and that you have questions on our specific process. We want to thank you for all the work you do to support your school's AP program. We could not do this work without you. You are such an important partner to all of us in the College Board, and it's just our pleasure to work with you. So please let us know if we can be of any assistance. Thank you.